back to another episode of Knowledge Mansion with me, Luca, and today, if you read the title of this video, or you're looking at the slide on screen right now, today we're going to be talking about continents and subcontinents. 3, 2, 1, let's get into it. 7 continents with 5 oceans. So, as you know, there are 7 continents: North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, and Australia. However, on the map that we have here, you know, the green, Australia, it's not completely accurate, but we'll get into that later on. Subcontinent. Subcontinent. A large landmass such as India that is part of a continent but is considered either geographically or politically as an independent entity, or a large landmass such as Greenland that is smaller than a continent. Countries on the Indian subcontinent are Pakistan, of course India, you know the country it's named after, Bhutan, Nepal, Bangladesh, I like to say Bangladesh, but it's actually pronounced Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. The Arabian Peninsula is a subcontinent, or you could say the Arabian subcontinent. Here is a map of what the Arabian Peninsula looks like, and the countries on the Arabian subcontinent are Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, Yemen, UAE. UAE stands for United Arab Emirates, and if you don't know where that is, it's the place where Dubai is. Saudi Arabia, a part of Jordan, and a tiny bit of Iraq. Australia or Australasia. There is a debate about whether Australia is its own continent completely by itself, or if it's part of the larger continent of Australasia, which would be made up of Papua New Guinea, Samoa, all these tiny islands owned by all these countries, New Zealand, and all these other small islands, which I obviously don't have all the names for. But it makes you wonder, the definition of a continent doesn't have to be, a large landmass clumped together, because obviously this is not together. This is really spread out. And also something which is really weird, or at least which I personally find weird, is that Papua New Guinea looks weird floating in the ocean the way it does, doesn't it? It just doesn't look right. Well, you would be right, because the other half of Papua New Guinea, or it wouldn't be half of Papua New Guinea, but on the other side, which is not on this map, is the rest of the island, which is owned by Indonesia. The island is called New Guinea, and as you can see, why is Papua New Guinea only counted as being in Australasia? Maybe it's just a map, most likely it's just a map, or there's some strange stuff going on. Europe. Europe is divided by the Eurasian mountain range. The Eurasian mountain range is a range of mountains which goes through Europe and Asia, and it goes all the way down, and it splits Russia and Kazakhstan through Europe and Asia. And interesting fact, a lot of people think that Russia is part of Europe, but obviously, from what I've just said, it's not. Only part of it is in Europe. Actually, the majority of it is in Asia. But another fun fact about Russia is that it has a population of about 130 plus million people, and 100 million plus live in the European part, but only 30 million plus of them live in the Asian part, and the Asian part is much bigger, but that's probably because it's way colder in the Asian part, but whatever. And you may think, hey, wait a minute, Turkey's connected to Europe, but it's not the Eurasian mountain range that splits that. Let's go on to the next slide. Turkey. Turkey is also another country that sits on 2 continents, Europe and Asia. So, as you can see here, you can see this big blob over here. Now that is Turkey. But this bit over here is actually in Europe. Yes, it's still part of Turkey, but it's a tiny bit in Europe. And you see this tiny strait going through? Yeah, that's the tiny strait which splits Turkey from Europe and Asia. and this strait goes into the Black Sea, and it connects the Black Sea and the Mediterranean together. Interesting note, when people think of the Middle East, they probably think of a massive land by itself. When they think of Asia, they think of Japan and China, but the Middle East actually sits on the Asian continent. Facts. Egypt. Egypt also sits on two continents. Most of it is in Africa, but the Sinai Peninsula sits on what is considered Asia. Now, more interesting facts for your forehead. So, we have Egypt, which is, you're probably looking at this bit right now. It's in Africa. We have the Suez Canal, which splits the rest of Egypt from the Sinai Peninsula, which is still part of Egypt. But the Sinai Peninsula is actually in Asia. But more interesting facts for more foreheads is that the Suez Canal is man-made. So would it still be counted as being a part of Asia or not? By the way, I might do a video on whether or not this is considered Asia or Africa. Just a little side note. Central America thoughts. So, if you saw the map at the beginning of the video, you would have seen that, Mexico and all of Central America is counted as North America. But just a thought I had is that according to the definition of a subcontinent, would Central America be counted as a subcontinent? And something I'm just gonna do just to, make you learn more stuff, I guess, is name the countries in Central America. So you have where burritos come from, the massive thing you're probably looking at right now, Mexico. Then you have Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. I hope you learned something new. Thanks for watching. Sources. But I'm just gonna scroll up to some random picture. But anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like the video. If you're not sure what to do, like the video. If you like these videos and would like to see more, make sure to watch more of my videos. And also subscribe. And I don't really know what to say now. Just have a nice day and see you in the next video.